Hey guys, I am back, and as we know, tonight coming up is the lunar eclipse. It's not a full lunar eclipse, but a lunar eclipse nonetheless. I have my notes here, so I want to talk a little bit about the lunar eclipse and the history of it real quick. So I have my notes here because y'all know I tend to ramble, so I wrote bullet points down and try to stay on point. First, what is a lunar eclipse? A lunar eclipse is when you have the sun, the moon, and the earth line up so that the earth is blocking the light of the sun from shining on the moon. Now, there's three types of lunar eclipse. The first lunar eclipse is, see my dog, he loves me. See, I'm starting to ramble again. But the first type of lunar eclipse is, well, three types of lunar eclipse in no particular order. The first one is the one that we're going to have tonight. This is the one we're going to have tonight. It's the one I'll say first. Is the penumbra. I might be saying it wrong. Penumbra. Penumbra. Penumbra eclipse. And that's when, shoot, probably easier if I had a pen to draw this. Do I have a pen around me? No. Okay. That's when, say this is the Earth, and behind this is the Earth's shadow. Okay? Now, the closest part to the Earth in the Earth's shadow is called the umbra, U-M-B-R-A. I'm spelling it because more than likely I'm probably saying it wrong. Now, that would be this between the Earth and like right here, the umbra, U-M-B-R-A. And then after this point, back is the penumbra, which is P-E-N-U-M-B-R-A. I think I spelled that right. So tonight we're having a penumbral lunar eclipse, which means that the moon is not going to, this is Earth, just imagine Earth right here. The moon is not going to be in between these two sections. It's going to actually be here. So this is going to be here, which is a little further away, which will allow the rays, some of the rays of the sun to, more of the rays of the sun to come around the Earth or whatever, and it can still hit a little bit of the moon. It's actually going to, darken the moon. So it'll still be a full moon, but it's going to be darker than usual. That's the type of lunar eclipse we're going to have tonight. Now, when the moon is in that umbra section, that's called a total lunar eclipse. And when we have a partial lunar eclipse is when, of course, it's only partially covered. That part really don't need to be talked about because it's partial. Anyway, so with that being said, let's get into the good part. Now, the lunar eclipse is also what was referred, when you have a total lunar eclipse, is what's referred to as the blood moon. Now, the blood moon has been seen as a bad sign for many cultures for a long time. But that's only public knowledge, and that was public knowledge on purpose. The blood moon is actually, and the reason I'm saying that it's public knowledge and that's public knowledge on purpose is because the word, when you look at the word blessed, the root word of the word blessed actually comes from the word blood. Blood, way back in ancient times, it was actual blood that was used to bless things. So in deep occult knowledge, which was you had to be in these initiate schools to notice back then, you use blood to bless things. So the blood moon was actually a great blessing of that time. But of course they didn't want everybody to know this. Everybody didn't need to have this information. So, they told the other story, and well, I'm not going to go into history of how people bless with blood. I'm going to leave that part right there. So with that, that's one part of it. It's actually a blessing. And to help you understand that, I'm going to go a little bit into the Bible because, come on, it's me. I'm supposed to Bible into everything. And I want to go into Revelation 16:16, which is not in front of me. But I'm going to Revelation 16:16. That's where I'm getting this from. And in Revelation 16:16, well, actually, it's Revelation 16:14, or is it 6:14? This is the actual verse. 16:14, and I think also 6:14. Either way, both of them talk about the blood moon and a blood moon showing up before the Armageddon. And for a long time, people have been talking about the Armageddon, the 4 horses apocalypse. I'm not going to go into the word apocalypse right now. I'm going to stick on the word Armageddon because the blood moon is supposed to be what's supposed to bring about the Armageddon. Now, there's supposedly supposed to be four or five blood moons, like true blood moons, total blood moons, before the apocalypse comes. We've had many blood moons since then, but so since we have so many blood moons since then, I'm not sure how most are total blood moons. I believe the spoken about total blood moon that's supposed to bring on an apocalypse is going to happen in 2015. But let me say now, you're hearing it here first. Like I said, I believe the final total blood moon is supposed to bring about the apocalypse is supposed to happen in 2015, bring about the whole Armageddon thing. But what does the word Armageddon mean? Armageddon is actually a made-up word of two Hebrew words. It comes from the word Harar and Megiddon. And Harar actually is a Hebrew word that means mountain. And Megiddon, most people think, is the name for mountain, but it actually means following. So, with the word mountain, when you go to now, saying mountain is still an English word, so we have to go back and find out where this English word, what does the word mean, where it's come from. When you go back and look into the etymology of the word mountain, you get the word sacred word Manya, Manya, and I have to look at it because I have the Sanskrit word written down right here, and you get the word Manya, which is Manya, however you say it. I spelled it for you, and it actually means the nape of the neck. So when you understand that particular word means the following of the nape of the neck, then you understand this is actually talking about the Kundalini energy rising. And I know you probably wonder, I went off into the Bible, how am I tie it all in? It's coming. It's coming. So, it went into the nape of the neck, and it's talking about the Kundalini energy rising. The nape of your neck is right here. Okay, you feel the nape of the neck is like right here. That little, right there. That's actually, no, I'm sorry, it's higher. It's a little higher, but that's the nape of the neck. So what happens is, within the nape of the neck, if you compare this to the front, that's between your throat and your mouth. So what it is it's the Kundalini energy rising in you to a certain point. By this point, you should have all the other chakras worked out, and you should have your root chakra worked out, which means your root chakra is basically your survival. And I'll go deeper into chakras in another video, but root chakra is basically your survival. Your sacral chakra is basically where you build your energy. Your solar chakra sacral chakra is where you actually can create your energy. The solar chakra is where you harness your energy. The heart chakra is where you learn to work and do what you're supposed to with that energy. Your throat chakra is where you're supposed to speak your truth. This is where I want to get to. The throat chakra, nape of the neck between your mouth and your throat, is where you're supposed to speak your truth. The more truth you speak, meaning your own truth, the more truth you speak, the more truth comes to you, the more truth you reveal, the more truth comes to you. Not saying that you're supposed to speak every truth, because some things are not meant to be given so easily. Just like you have to go out and you have to seek truth. You know, the Bible says, seek ye shall find. And there's another thing, it's the glory of kings, it's the glory of God to hide the matter, and honor of kings to seek it out. Wisdom is to be sought. It's not supposed to be just given easily. That's why I say don't give pearls to swine. But I'm speaking Bible terms, I want to bring it back a little bit. Wisdom was not supposed to be given easily, so you're not supposed to speak everything. But in saying that, you are supposed to speak your own truth. And the more you speak your truth, the more truth will be revealed to you. And the more you start seeing things in your true light, not in a light that was given to you by someone else, I should say actually in your true darkness, because light is reflective. So when you see light, it's reflecting something that a particular person wants you to see, a particular reality they want you to see, or a particular reality you want you to see. So when you start speaking truth, your truth actually comes from your spirit, which comes from a darker place. Not dark as in evil. I mean darker place as in the spiritual realm, a place of the unseen. So when you start speaking that, then it opens up your third eye, which your third eye, which is here, is actually connected to your pineal gland back here. I'll get into the pineal gland and all that in another video. Just stick with me, write it down, take it note, whatever. But when your third eye starts to open and pineal gland gets activated, it opens up your crown chakra. And once your crown chakra is open, then you're able to channel so many higher energies are able to come through. So with the Armageddon, it's all about opening up your crown chakra so you can go to another level, connect to another dimension, go to a higher dimension than the one that you're on. Maybe not physically, but mentally and spiritually, you're supposed to be able to operate on different levels. So that's what the Armageddon is about. Now, how does that tie into this? How does that tie into this in the blood moon? Well, the moon, we all know, is connected to your emotions. The moon, when the moon gets full, it's close. It makes the tides rise as well. Gets close to the earth. But when the moon is full, it brings more oxygen to the earth. And with more oxygen to the earth, you get more oxygen in the body. You get more stimulation, brain stimulation, and depending on who you are, you become more of that personality. So if you're a spiritual person, this is a time of great spiritual enlightenment. If you're a butthole, then you're going to be an extra butthole. This is what they get, people say, oh, it's a full moon tonight, and you get the word Luna and lunatics from, because Luna, the full moon, the lunar cycle. And of course, the dumpster wants to come down. The trash guy wants to come down and pick up trash. But whatever, we're going to have to work through it. So, what was I saying? I was on, this is where we get the word Luna and lunatic from. It comes from the moon being full and us getting more oxygen to our brains, and it just tightens us. So whatever we are, we just come a little extra during this time. So with that being said, and all that, it connects to our emotions and everything. Meaning, okay, getting back, I'm sorry, the truck totally threw me off. That's why I have notes, so I don't tend to ramble somewhere else. But with all that being said, with the coming up tonight, and I'm in South Florida, so the full moon plus the lunar eclipse is going to be tonight for me, between 10 to 1 a.m. or 10 to 12:30, whatever, it's going to be tonight. And we're going to do our own little thing for it. But anyway, because it's a lunar eclipse, it's going to be this one's going to be the 10 numeral eclipse that I told you about. It's going to be more of a darker moon, and with the darker moon, like I said, it's going to give you more energy to connect to your spiritual self. So tonight's a great time for meditation. Good stones to use for meditation. Tonight's a great time for meditation to go deeper into basically spiritual connecting. If you want to connect to your ancestors, you never thought you could do it before. If you want to do meditations just to clear your chakras, might be a good night to do that. If you've been doing rituals and things or whatever, or sending out prayers, whatever you want to call it, to manifest things, tonight would be a good thing. Tonight would be a good night to basically seal the deal in the spiritual realm. To make sure it's still in the spiritual realm, that way anything that does not line up with it will start falling off with the waning of the moon. That's the next 2 weeks will be the waning of the moon. Anything that does not line up with what you're feeling tonight, the deal that you're going to seal tonight, will start to fall away and drift out your life. With saying that, know to let it go, knowing that you ask for these things, so certain situations are going to happen, so that everything that you want lines up. So that means it may cause a little emotional disturbances depending on how attached you are to certain people, certain jobs, certain things in your home that need to get thrown out. It may cause a little imbalance because it may be trying to tell you that if you want this needs to go. But yeah, so like I said, tying it back into the blood moon, this is what it all is about. A lot of people say the words lunar eclipse, blood moon, the darker moon, which technically tonight would be the darker moon, not the blood moon, but they don't really know or understand what happens. And this is basically what's happened. The earth is coming between the sun and the earth is between, well, the earth is not coming between the sun and the moon, but the moon is going into the shadow of the earth, basically. Not the closest shadow, but further out back, here somewhere. The moon goes to the shadow of the earth, and then the sun's over here. So with that, it gives you a time to go into, because it's in the shadow of earth, it gives you a time to go into more deeper thought. You may be able to connect to, because it's going to the shadow, the earth elements that hide in the shadow. You may be able to connect to them. It's possible. Those are things that you could do. Now, the type of moon that we're having, full moon that we're having, is called the flower moon, the milk moon, sometimes the hair moon. Basically, all this saying is this is the time of blossoming. This is the moon time of blossom. Like they say, April showers bring May flowers. For most parts, this is the time where flowers are really going to start to bloom. Unless you live in South Florida, we're about to go into our hurricane season if we're not already in it. So basically, the flowers got to get in where they fit in down here. But yeah, this is time for flowering. This is time for blossoming. So all that prepping and preparing that we've been doing, that I've been saying, doing my readings, now is the time that everything's perfect prepared, so So now is the time for that thing to manifest. And hopefully you've created a good, clear space, a good, happy space, a good, well, everybody always say love means desire and will. But hopefully you created a space that desires this thing, that has the will for this thing to love and grow, whatever it is that you want to grow. If not, get to it, clean it up, because what you asked for, you are going to start to get it. And in this time frame, things are manifesting a lot faster. Also, I want to say, be careful what you say, not just today, but period. Be careful of the words you say, because in this time frame, you're going to notice a lot of stuff, or at least write down, pay attention to your thoughts, because a lot of stuff, the things you think about the most, is going to manifest a lot faster. So you want to be a little more affirmative in your words. Say things that's only going to bring to you what you want. Lose the, well, in the English language, they call them negative words. Lose those negatives. Stop saying what you don't want. Say what you do want. Stop saying what you're not going to do. Just totally lose that out of your speech and say what you are going to do. And say it as if you're doing it now, and eventually you'll start doing it. But yeah, also I want to talk about the moon tonight is going to be in Sagittarius. Yeah, the moon tonight is going to be in Sagittarius, and the sun is in Gemini. With that, also with the full moon, with the moon going into the darkness of the earth, with it being in Sagittarius, for those understand, Sagittarius is all about understanding. It's about a deep understanding. That's the easiest frame I can put into without going to. I'm not talking about different Sagittarian personalities. I'm talking about Sagittarius moon in general. It's all about understanding. And with that, with the sun being now in Gemini, Gemini is all about thinking. So now you're going to have a deep understanding of thought, deep understanding of different thoughts. If you do meditate, you get great meditation tonight, and you should be able to get a lot of answers to a lot of questions. You may notice that now certain ideas may be popping into your head of things you could do to get out of certain situations, things you could do to make other situations better. This all has to do with the lunar eclipse, where the sun is, where the moon is, and the extra energy is coming from the moon going into the earth's shadow. I hope I cleared that up as far as the history of the moon, the actual meaning of the blood moon, how even though most people have through the years have been trained to think that it's a bad thing, in the actual occult realm it's actually a blessing. And even though this moon is not the true blood moon, it is the darker moon. And again, when you go into the dark, when you close your eyes to go into the dark, the darkness comes to light. So when you close your eyes and you go into that darkness within yourself, you start to see the true self. And as you open your eyes again into the light, you start to see things for what they really are, or how you want them to be. Yeah, I said to Armageddon. I'm looking at my bullet points. Lunar, Armageddon. I said what the word blessed actually comes from. I went into, yeah. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions, just write down the bottom and I'll answer them, or inbox me on Facebook. And with that, I actually do have another, I'm going to do a tarot reading, but I don't want it in this video. I'm going to do it in the video afterwards. So, with all that, have a very blessed lunar eclipse. If you can, if you're in the Americas, and, well, eastern side of America, and you're able to see the new moon and the lunar eclipse, get outside and watch it. We'll be watching it. Maybe I'll videotape it. I don't know. I'm not sure. It depends on what mood I'm in. Because I plan on doing a meditation, and it's on like a 2-hour time span where, for me, in the way I do things, it's like a 2-hour time span for me to get my meditation in. So we'll see what happens whether I videotape or not. Other than that, stay blessed, peace, and stay tuned for my upcoming video. Bye.